Okay, this is a lesson on Algebra 2, lesson 32, factoring sum and differences of cubes. We're doing factoring again, so factoring means to break things apart. When it says find the product, you're multiplying it and bringing things together. When we factor, we break things apart, okay? So, the objective today, students, will factor the sum and difference of cubes, okay? These are the steps here on this next page, also written up here. Make sure the equation is in the form of a cubed plus b cubed or a cubed minus b cubed. If it is, then you step 2 factor as follows. A cubed plus b cubed will be equal to this, a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Or if it's a cubed minus b cubed, it's a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So the difference here is a plus or minus. If there's a plus here, you know there's a plus here, and there's going to be a minus here. If there's a minus sign here, you're going to have a minus sign here and a plus sign here. Okay? And if we're solving, we're factoring completely. Or if it says to factor completely, you factor completely. And I'll talk about that later. Okay, so I'll do numbers 1 and 2. So number 1. Number 1, a cubed plus 27. First step, make sure the equation is in the form of a cubed plus b cubed or a cubed minus b cubed. So in this equation we have a cubed, which looks like it's in a cubed, right? 27. Now 27 doesn't look like b cubed, but it is. 27 is like 3 cubed, right? 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27. So we know our a is a and our b is 3, okay? Since that's the case, we go factoring as follows. We follow the first example. A cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times the quantity of a squared minus ab plus b squared. So start off by writing the first quantity of a plus b cubed, which is going to be a plus b. Our b is 3. So it's a plus 3 times the quantity of a squared plus minus a times b. A times b is a times 3, which is 3a, plus b squared, which is going to be 9. All right, 3 times 3 is 9. That's it. We just factored a perfect square, or perfect cube expression. Okay, so again, we could break this apart. This is our a cubed, b is 3 cubed. Using the form, you plug in the numbers and you simplify. Okay. And that's it on number 1. Number 2, watch again. Number 2, we have 8x cubed minus 125. With your math eyes, you could tell that 8x cubed cubic root of 8 is 2. So this is like saying 2x cubed minus 125. We know 125 is like saying 5 cubed. Right, 5 times 5 times 5. So our a is 2x, our b is 5. This has a minus sign in the middle, so we're going to use the second form. So we start off by writing our binomial a minus b, which is going to be a is 2x minus b. Our b is 5, so it's 2x minus 5. That's our first binomial. And then we have the trinomial, which is a squared. 2x squared is 4x squared. Then we use a plus sign. A times b, 2x times 5 is 10x. Then we use a plus sign again. B squared is 5 squared, which is 25. That's it. We've just factored out this sum of cubes. That's it. Okay, so this is 1 and 2. Yes, questions? How did I get 4x squared? What's a squared? A squared, right? A is 2x. What's 2x squared? 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Make sense? All right. Any other questions? Good question. Okay, so 1 still at 2 is about number 1. 2 still at 1 is about number 2. And then you're going to pick one problem to write down. Ready, set, go. Okay, telling your neighbor. And b, what is b equal to? Okay, so you're working this out. Okay, so on number 3, in case you didn't get it, your a your a is m, and I put it in parentheses, m cubed. So your a is m, your b is 2 cubed, right? So you just use the form a plus b times the quantity of a squared minus ab plus b squared. So it's going to be m plus 2 times the quantity of a squared minus ab, which is 2m, plus b squared, which is 4. That's it. Okay, number 4. By yourselves. Ready, set, go. Okay, so number 4, recording again here. Number 4, you have to think about, okay, 8 is a perfect cube of 2u cubed, right? 2u cubed minus, and then we got 1 is perfect cube of just 1, right? So our a is 2u, b is 1. There's a minus sign in the middle, so we go 2u minus 1 times the quantity of 2u squared, which is 4u squared. And we know where we have plus signs here, plus 2u times 1 is 2u, and then 1 squared, or b squared is 1. That's it for number 4. Really easy, right? This problem takes really like 15-20 seconds. It's a really fast problem. Why does it do that? Just because of the pattern. We know that the pattern works. Okay, number 5. Let me start us off on number 5. We got one last one to do. Number 5. Now number 5, what do you notice about number 5? Do we have perfect cubes? No, but what else do we notice? Okay, on any of these problems, when we factor, we have to think, can I factor anything out of these problems?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could factor out a 3 out of them, right? Okay, so the general rule on any time we're factoring, factor anything you can out that goes into everything. So over here we have 24x cubed minus 81. Factor out a 3, right? So when we factor out a 3, we know that 3 times 8x cubed is equal to 24x cubed, and 3 times 27, right? 27 times 3 is 81, right? Now, don't we know that 27 is a perfect cube and 8x cubed is a perfect cube, right? Okay, so finish off my problem on your whiteboards. Ready, set, go. Okay, so on number 5, one more time. Factor out the 3. Bring down the 3 again. We know this is the 8x cubed is just like saying 2x cubed. We know that the 27 is like saying 3 cubed. Okay, so factoring it out, we got 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 3 times the quantity of 2x squared, which is 4x squared, plus 8 times b. 8 times b, 2x plus times 3 is 6x. And b squared is going to be 9. Oop, that's a big plus sign. And that's it, okay? Now, I'm going to add one more thing to this, okay? This is just factoring, okay? Here's a what-if analysis, okay? What if it's set to solve? What do we need for it to say solve? Put a 0, right? It has to be equal sign and a 0, okay? This is not what we're going to do today, but if it had an equal sign, this is how we would solve it, okay? You divide both sides by 3. No, but you need to know this, okay? If we divide both sides by 3, we know that 3 would cancel out with 3, and that 0 divided by 3 is just 0 still, right? So the 3 would just disappear. 3 would just disappear. So we really have two of these parentheses, these two quantities, okay? So we use the zero product property, which is going to be 2x minus 3, which is equal to 0. And then we would also have 4x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. When we do this, the first equation you could solve for x, and you get 2x is equal to, or x is equal to 3/2. That's one of your answers, okay? On the second equation here, what can we do to solve the second equation here? We could use Xbox. What else can we use?
Quadratic formula.
Quadratic formula, what else can you use? Complete the square, right? So either of those you could use, okay? Yes?
Is that only if it says solve?
That's only if it says solve, okay? Now, you could use the quadratic formula here and you'd get two more imaginary answers, okay?
Oh.
Right? What did our problem start with? X to what power? X to what power? What? X to cube. So how many answers will I have in this problem if it said solve? 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Do you all see that? So if it says to solve, you know how to solve this kind of problem now. We'll know how to draw this in a few lessons from now and just solve it, like graph it on a graph paper. Okay. All right, and this concludes our lesson.